Tommy Robinson, the former leader of the EDL, the English Defence League, has once again used his platform to directly attack and directly address Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, and also the two-tier judiciary system that we currently appear to be living under here in the UK. In his most recent YouTube video, he directly addresses the partners and the families of people who have been imprisoned, and in his own words, the political prisoners of the current clampdown against people with right-wing opinions and right-wing views that do not align with the so-called message.
Anyone knows, any family members, anyone who's been sent to prison, we have political prisoners currently in Britain. The world needs to know that, yeah?
Tommy has pledged to use his position and use his platform and use his social profile to help fight the cases of those people who have been imprisoned with exceptionally long sentences for crimes such as reposting memes and reposting images on Facebook or Twitter, or for using offensive language in public or when addressing police officers. He has asked for contributions from partners and from families to go ahead and create a documentary which he states will show the world how the people of the country are being mistreated simply for speaking their minds.
We want to speak to family members of innocent British men and women who have been falsely imprisoned, who have been pressured into pleading guilty, who are now sitting doing years of prison sentences for exercising their legal rights.
Whether you like him or loathe him, I believe that Tommy Robinson is very, very well placed to help fight for free speech on behalf of those people with little to no voice. Sorry to interrupt the video, just wanted to say a quick thank you to everyone who supports the channel. If you haven't done so already, then I do ask that you kindly click the subscribe button down below. 97% of people who watch these videos aren't currently subscribed, which is crazy, right? It's totally free. You can change your mind and there won't be any hard feelings if you choose to unsubscribe at a later date. If you do find these videos useful and you want to help me out, you can buy me a beer by clicking the link in the description below, and that also would be very much appreciated, particularly in this hot weather. Anyway, back to the video. It has been said time after time by both the Prime Minister, Keir Starmer, that they want to send a message. They want to put a message out there that hateful speech, which apparently can just be speech that you hate, will not be tolerated and will be met with the full force of the law. The problem, however, with sending a message is twofold. Firstly, if you are going to send a message, you need to do it within the precedent that has already been set in terms of the punishment and the repercussions for certain actions of certain individuals. I.e., you cannot suddenly decide to sentence someone to the death penalty for shoplifting. It has to be in keeping with the precedent that has been previously set in law. This is why, and this happens particularly in the US, we often hear previous cases quoted when it comes to sentencing people by a judge. Typically, we hear about someone versus someone, or in the case of this, or in the case of that, and that is used as a precedent for the punishment received by the perpetrator of the crime. Not only that, if you're going to send a message, it is quite important to understand the public feeling about the message that you are sending.
This stitched up across our entire country to instill fear in you, the British public. This was about sending you a message. They weaponised our judiciary, weaponised our court system. Some people, I spoke to family members last night, wives. One man was arrested on Saturday, like a counter-terrorism raid, for a post he put on Facebook. Yeah, I've got the post. It's not unlawful, what he says.
Sending a message is absolutely fine and can quite often garner you the support of the general public. However, the general consensus of the British public, and whilst this does not apply to everyone, is that these sentences are massively exaggerated, unnecessary, and, dare I suggest, and in my personal opinion, potentially unlawful. If we look at another crime which people generally feel quite strongly about, particularly if they've been the victim of it, the number of car thefts that have been solved in the UK at the moment, and certainly in parts of London, has been as close to zero as you can get. In fact, in the vast majority of cases, the police will not even investigate car theft or indeed burglaries here in this country. If judges and if Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, were to come out and say they were going to act upon people who were stealing cars or acting on people who were burgling private properties with the full force of the law, in order to set an example and to send a message to those people who may be considering stealing a car or committing a burglary, then I do think that this zero tolerance, full force of the law, setting an example approach would possibly garner the support of the general British public. After all, But everyone agrees that stealing a car is wrong. Everyone agrees that breaking into a house and stealing a person's belongings and invading their privacy, it deserves a custodial sentence and deserves a proper punishment. Of course, it should still be within the confines and the precedents set previously in law, as we discussed. However, I think such a crackdown would garner the support of the British public. However, if you're now telling the British public that they can be punished for their opinions, and these are opinions that aren't exclusive to the people that have been arrested, these are opinions that are quite widely and on a scale spread across the UK, then you will not get the support of the public. And the public will indeed then go to people like Tommy Robinson, who has a platform that can address these views and can challenge the status quo, challenge the powers that be, challenge the judiciary system, challenge the police, and challenge Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, on the policies surrounding these arrests and surrounding these sentences. As I say, like him or loathe him, I believe that people like Tommy Robinson are needed in order to give the average man, myself included, a platform to challenge what is quite clearly an overreach at best and unlawful at worst. Stay safe and stay sane, everybody.